Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to everyone. So welcome back to our class. So for today's class, we're going to look into new subtopic 1.2 law of indices. Okay, before that, I hope you still remember what you have learned from our previous class. If you still have any difficulties, don't hesitate to reach me. Okay, ask me anything about it. Okay. So for today's first learning standard, okay, we will look at how to relate the multiplication of numbers in index form with the same base to repeated multiplication and hence make generalization. Okay, first let's look at the brainstorming one. Okay, what is the aim for brainstorming one? Okay, we want to identify the relationship between multiplication of numbers in index form, okay, with the same base and repeated multiplication. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Okay, over here we have multiplication of numbers in index form. So do you still remember what is index form? Okay, index form we have one big number as base and one small number on the top of it. Okay, we call it index. Okay, so what happened when we have 2 power of 3 times 2 power of 4? Okay, in this case we can see that we have the same base of 2. Okay, so let's split it like this. Okay, for 2 power of 3, this is actually means we have 2 times 2 times 2. There are 3 factors. Okay, and then for 2 power of 4 is actually 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. There are 4 factors of 2. Okay, what happened if you times all of this? Okay, this is actually, okay, you combine all of it, all of the factors. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factors overall. Okay, where it is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, when you calculate all of this, okay, this is actually 2 to the power of 7. Okay, from this situation, okay, it is actually, okay, 2 power of 3 times 2 power of 4 is equals to 2 power of 7. Okay, here, what can you see? Okay, so let's look over here. 7 is actually the sum of 3 plus 4. Okay, when you plus 3 plus 4, you will get 7. So what does it mean? If you have multiplication, okay, with same base, what you do, you just sum up the power or the index. So in this situation, you have 3 times 4 is equals to 7. Okay, let's look to the next example. You have 3 power of 2 times 3 power of 3. So over here, you know that 3 power of 2 is actually 3 times 3. Okay, and then 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 power of 3. Okay, so this is actually 3 power of 5. Okay, so you know that, okay, 3 power of 2 times 3 power of 3 is actually 3 power of 5. Okay, where, okay, the 5 comes from 2 plus 3. Okay, let's proceed to the next example. Okay, here you have 5 power of 4 times 5 power of 2. So 5 plus 2 is equals to 6. Okay, so over here we know that it is equals to 5 power of 6. Where does the 6 comes from? 6 comes from 4 plus 2. Okay, so the conclusion, okay, from brainstorming one, okay, it is found that, okay, if you have 2 power of 3 times 2 power of 4, the answer is equals to, okay, 2 power of 3 plus 4. So 3 plus 4 is equals to 7, and so on. Okay, so in general, what we can say about this situation, if it involves multiplication, okay, it is, okay, a power of m times a power of n is actually equals to a power of m plus n. Okay, the the main thing over here is it is from the same base. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Okay, so the first one, okay, you have 7 power of 2 times 7 power of 3. So over here, you know that 7, 2 plus 3. So this is equals to 7 power of 5. Okay. Okay, next we look at B. So you have 0.2. Okay, so let's look at the index power. You have 2, 4 and 5. So it is basically means 2 plus 4 plus 5. So your final answer is equals to 0.2, 11, right? 5 plus 4 plus 2 is 11. Okay, next we have C. So you have 2k power of 2 times 4k power of 3. Okay, so in this situation, what you need to do first is you need to do by using the operation of the coefficient. Okay, you split the coefficient. Okay, so you have 2 times 4. Okay, and then you will have k square times k power of 3. Okay, and then you know that 2 times 4 is 8, and then you have k power of 2 plus 3. So your final answer is 8k power of 5. Okay. Okay, and the last one for D. Okay, it is the same thing. Okay, you need to separate the coefficient. Okay, so you have 3 times 1 over 6 times 12. Okay, and then you left out with m power of 4 plus 5 plus 1. Okay, where does this 1 comes from? Okay, the 1 is actually comes from over here. Okay, if the unknown stand alone m like this, okay, it is actually means m power of 1. Okay, please remember that. Okay, so try to simplify. So press your calculator. 3 times 1 over 6 times 12 is actually 6. Okay, and then for m, you have 4 plus 5 plus 1, which is 10. Okay, so your final answer will be 6m power of 10. Okay, simple, right? Okay, so I want you to do by yourself. Okay, number 1, simplify each of the following: A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Okay, you do all 8 questions. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, so let's proceed to the next example. Okay, how do you simplify a number or an algebraic term in index form with different bases? Okay, previously you have all of the same base. So over here 7, 7, 0.2, k, m. Okay, next we look at what can you do if it involves different base. So let's look at the first example. Over here you have m, n, 2 algebraic terms, 2 different terms, and then you have 0.3, 0.2 and so on. Okay, don't worry. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, so let's look at the first one, A. Okay, what is the first thing you can do? Okay, you need to group the term, okay, with the same base. Okay, so A, you have m and n. So the first thing you do is you group the term, like term yang sama. Okay, so I rearrange the question. Okay, so over here you have m cubed power of 3 times m power of 4 times n power of 2 times n power of 5. Okay, so over here you can see that there are two groups. So the first group is base m. The second group is base n. Okay, then proceed. Okay, what you do next is the same from the previous example. Okay, so you group m. Okay, so m is equals to, m power of 3 plus 4 times n power of 2 plus 5. Okay, and your final answer should be m power of 7 times n power of 7. Okay. Okay, so far, everyone? Okay, next, B. Okay, so let's look at B. So for B, okay, I rearrange it by like terms, okay, which is the same base. Okay, so for the first one, I have 0.3 power of 2 times 0.3 standalone, which means power of 1, times 0.3 power of 3, and then times 0.2 power of 2 times 0.2 power of 5. Is it correct? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so next you can proceed. So we have 0.3 bracket power of 2 plus 1 plus 3 times 0.2 power of 2 plus 5. Okay, so your final answer should be 0.3 power of 3, 4, 5, 6 times 0.2 power of 5, 6, 7 power of 7. That's it. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed to C. Okay. Wow, at C you have 3 P, M, and N. 3 different algebraic term. Okay. So let's group it first. So you have P square times P power of 4 times M power of 3 times M power of 4 times N power of 3 times N power of 2. Let's double check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, correct. Let's proceed. So P 2 plus 4 times M 3 plus 4 times N 3 plus 2. Okay, so your final answer should be P power of 6 times M power of 4, 5, 6, 7 times N power of 5. Okay. Okay, before that, okay, your final answer, okay, you should simplify, okay? So we know that P times M times N, okay, is equals to P power of 6, M power of 7, N power of 5. You write it without the multiplication symbols, okay? So the same thing goes with the first example. So your final answer, you should write it as M7 and 7. Okay, write it without the multiplication symbols, okay? So it means it's your final answer. It has been simplified. Okay, and then we proceed with D, the last one. So D, you have, okay, M, N, M, N. Okay, the same thing. You need to group it first. So we have, okay, we have negative. Okay, so over here you see negative 1, right? So it is actually means negative 1 M power of 4. The coefficient is actually negative 1. So I directly split the coefficient. So you have negative 1 times 2 times 3 times 1 over 4. Okay, all the coefficient, and then you have M power of 4 times M power of 1 times N power of 5 times N power of 2. Okay, and then you can just press your calculator to solve the coefficient part. Okay, press your calculator and you will get negative 3 over 2. Okay, and then for m, 4 plus 1, m power of 5. And then n, 5 plus 2 is 7. So that is your final answer. Negative 3 over 2, m power of 5, n power of 7. Okay? Clear, right? Okay. So if okay, I want you to complete mind test 1.2b, number A, B, and C. Okay. Okay, is it okay, everyone? So if okay, let's proceed to the next learning standard. What is the relationship between division of numbers? If before this, the previous section, we deal with multiplication. So this is division, okay, of numbers in index form with the same base and repeated multiplication. Okay, learning standard is, relate the division of numbers in index form with the same base to repeated multiplications, and hence make generalization. Okay, so let's look at the same let's look at the first example. So in the division of numbers, you have 4 power of 5 divided by 4 power of 2. Okay, this actually can be written as 4 power of 5 divided by 4 power of 2. Okay, when we split, the 4 power of 5, this is actually 5 factors of 4. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And then you divide it with 4 power of 2, which means 2 factors, 2, 4. Okay, so you have 4 times 4. And then we need to simplify. You cross out. Okay, we know that 4 divided by 4 is 1, and then 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay, which left us with 4 power of 3. The remainder is 3 factors of 4. Okay, so over here we know that 4 power of 5 divided by 4 power of 2 is equals to 4 power of 3. How can this 3 happen? Okay, so this 3 happen by 5 minus of 2. So 5 minus of 2 is equals to 3. So this 3 is come from the process of 5 minus of 2. Okay, clear? So before this, if multiplication, you need to add, you need to sum up the indices, the power. But if it deals with division, you need to subtract the power, the index. Okay, so let's look at the next example. You have 2 power of 6 divided by 2 power of 2. So you have the first one, the numerator is 6 factors of 2, and then the denominator is 2 factors of 2. So then you need to cancel out, okay, which left us with 4 factors of 2. So we know the final answer is 2 power of 4. So let's look over here. We know that 2 power of 6 divided by 2 power of 2, the answer is 2 power of 4. Where is the 4 comes from? The 4 comes from these two indices, 6 minus 2, because it is division. If it is multiplication, you need to sum up. If sum up, okay, tambah. Okay, if the operation is divide, division, you need to subtract, you need to tolak. Okay, same thing with this type. If you have negative 3 in the bracket, power of 5 minus divide by negative 3 power of 3, the same thing. Okay, you need to arrange it like this. You simplify, okay, which left us with 2 factors of negative 3. Okay, so we know that the final answer is negative 3 power of 2. Okay, so over here is 2. Where this 2 comes from? It is actually comes from the subtraction of 5 minus 3. Okay, so from the brainstorming 2, okay, we can say that in general, if you have a power of m divided by a power of n, okay, same base, what you can do to the indices, you can subtract it, okay, m minus n, okay. Okay, so let's look at the first example. So over here you have 5 power of 4 divided by 5 power of 2. So this is actually means 5 power of 4 minus 2, okay, is equals to 5 power of 2. That's it, okay. Next we have b. Okay, so we have negative 3. Okay, so divide and divide. So 4 minus 2 minus 1. This one is standalone, so this is actually power of 1. So the final answer is equals to negative 3. 4 minus 2 minus 1 is power of 1. Okay, of 1. And then we simplify, it is actually negative 3. Okay, and then C, you have, okay, m power of n. Sorry, m power of 4, n power of 3 divided by m power of 2, n. Okay, so you can write it like this. Okay, there are two ways. Okay, you can write it like this: m power of 4, n power of 3 divided by m power of 2, n power of 1. Okay, then you can write it as m 4 minus 2 and 3 minus 1. Okay, so m 4 minus 2 is 2 and 3 minus 1 is 2. So this is your final answer. Or you can write it like this. You have m, n, n. Okay, divide by m, n. And then you need to simplify m, n. Okay, so which left you with 1, 2, 2m, m square, and 2n, n square. Also can. Okay, you can do which one that you prefer. Okay, which one you think is easy for you. Okay, the next question is D. Okay, you have 25x squared y cubed divided by 5xy. Okay, how to solve this type of question? Okay, first you extract the coefficient. So we have 25 divided by 5, right? Okay, and then you have x. So x squared, so over here is 2, and then divide power of 1. Okay, so you have actually x2 minus 1, and then y 3 minus 1. Okay, because both of these stand alone, so it is actually power of 1. So press your calculator. 25 divided by 5 is 5. x2 power of 1, sorry, 2 minus 1, 1. And then 3 minus 1 is 2. So xy square. Okay. So far so good. Okay, proceed with E. Okay, for E you have 12 m power of 10 divided by 4m power of 5 divided by m square. Okay, same thing. Okay, you need to extract the coefficient. So over here you have 12 divided by 4. This is 1, so no problem. And then you have m power of 10 minus 5 minus 2. Okay, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. M 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. Your final answer is 3m cubed. Okay, so last one, F. Okay, for F you have negative 16p power of 8 divided by 2p power of 5 divided by 4p squared. Okay, so in this case you can see that there are 3 coefficients. Okay, so over here we do it one by one. Okay, so we do the first 2 first. Okay, so over here you have negative 16 divided by 2. p power of 8 minus 5 divided by 4p square. Okay, so let's settle the first part. Okay, so negative 16 divided by 2 is actually negative 8. So over here we have p 8 minus 5 is 3. Okay, then you have divide by 4p square. And then we do the same thing. Okay, so negative 8 divided by 4, you take out the coefficient, operation of coefficient. And then we are left with p power of 3 divide, right? So divide, which mean minus, so the power minus 2. Okay, so negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2 p power of 1. Okay, so your final answer is negative 2p. Okay, okay, so if you still don't understand, you can just rewind this video, okay, to rewatch my explanation. Okay, so for mind test 1.2c, I want you to try number 1, A, B, C, D. Okay, and then number 3. Okay, I think that's it for today. So for today's lesson, you have covered 2 learning standards, okay, which involve multiplication and division, okay, of indices. Okay, so I think it's quite straightforward, right? Okay, so I want you to do the mind test exercise, and if you have any question, just ask me in the Telegram group. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for your focus. Okay, so remember, maths is easy. Okay, if you have any problem, don't shy to ask your teacher. Okay, please ask. If you're not asking your teacher, okay, you will forever don't understand the topics. Okay, so that's all for today. See you next class. Thank you very much.